I'm Lorraine Sommerfeld, and this is the Lemonade Car Show. Tonight we're talking about changes to Ontario's auto insurance, and as always, we'll be answering all of your car-related questions. Lemonade is brought to you by ONVIC, that's Ontario's vehicle sales regulator, and we're produced by the Automobile Protection Association. The APA fights for you, the consumer, and provides information and news on all parts of the industry. Visit our website at apa.ca or reach us by phone at 416-204-1444. Joining me today is John Raymond. He's an industry consultant and APA advisor, and Debbie Arnold. She's a business development manager at Sound Insurance. We'll also be taking your calls all evening at 800-968-7836. Welcome back, both of you.
Thank you very much.
Insurance. It's always a crazy topic.
It is.
And a timely one. I know you were just here a few weeks ago. I'm really glad you came back. There are changes that took effect July 1 or June 1?
June 1.
June 1, okay. Tell us what the biggest impact is for people, because we all have to have insurance, so this affects everybody.
The biggest change is the amount of coverage available in the event of a non-catastrophic injury or a catastrophic injury. And this is where Ontario Auto is so complex. There's 3 levels of injuries: minor injuries, sprain, minor whiplash, contusions, $3,500 max. That has not changed. Non-catastrophic injuries would be a severe whiplash, broken bones, if you need mobility devices, things like that, where it's a little bit more serious of an injury. And then catastrophic injury is paraplegia, you've lost a limb, you've lost your sight, something extremely serious is catastrophic that's going to be completely life-changing. That's where the definition had to be a little bit honed because it has to follow certain criteria now. It was very broad prior to June 1st. Mm-hmm. The criteria for a catastrophic injury is tightened up. So that's a good thing because it leaves out a lot of ambiguity that was going to court. So they've kind of removed that element. That's a good thing. The level of coverage, though, is 25% on non-catastrophic injury in reduction in coverage. So we had $50,000 for medical rehab and $36,000 for attendant care. They've combined those coverages into $65,000. So instead of 86, you have 65,000.
And did they drop the premium?
The premiums have been reducing,
but
in certain areas,
but that is
not by 25%.
No,
and you're not going to see that in Ontario.
Was that adequate to begin with? That amount based on your experience of seeing claims and
the average. Non-cat injury is about 65,000. The problem with the prior limits were you could run out of your med and rehab at 50,000, you're done. You have 30, you didn't need attendant care. You weren't using that 36,000, but you couldn't access it either because it wasn't part of the med and rehab. So by combining that into one single limit, it combines all those coverages together. So if you need more attendant care, more med rehab, whatever, you can utilize that. So it makes it a little bit more flexible for people. Yes, and you're looking at me like, what are you talking about?
Well, we've gone from apple to orange to kumquat. It's like,
exactly.
Okay.
But exactly, it is complicated, and that's why you need to have a discussion with your broker or agent about what your
Debbie, we could
are.
roll back the tape. How did this all come into effect? Like, who decided this? And was it in the public's best interest?
The Ontario government decided it as part of auto reform in order to reduce rates. It's the anti-fraud task force. It's all those recommendations that were made by the industry players. And that included people from the medical field. They had to bring in the medical field in terms of defining what these injuries would be. What's a non-catastrophic injury? What's a catastrophic injury? This has all been going on for the past 5 years. So they finally launched it June 1st. It's supposed to reduce the amount of cost to the insurance companies, which in turn should lower the cost of insurance to Ontario drivers.
Let me ask you something. I don't know if you have the answer for this, and I'm not trying to be a goof. When we see fraud,
yes,
we think of people who all of a sudden there's 15 people in the car after they've rear-ended somebody on purpose.
That's a typical stage collision.
Okay.
That's the typical.
So most of us, though, aren't that. And so most of us who have to deal with the anti-fraud measures, it means our coverage is being cut in a lot. Like I've had whiplash and gone through, here's your $5,000, good luck, see ya, hello arthritis at 60 odd or whatever. Mm-hmm. And I was never one of those fraud people. Is it targeting, are the new measures targeting those fraudulent people that make the headlines or don't, that really make me angry and jack my rates when most people I know are decent and honest? And again, I'm not asking you this, I'm asking you this personally. Is there anything being done as well to absolutely target the people who are creating fraud rather than everybody else who's just trying to get along with a bent neck?
I guess we feel victimized by fraudsters.
And I don't disagree with you there. I mean, it's definitely a problem. Is reducing coverage going to help?
Well,
maybe not, but there's a lot of other measures that were taken that are supposed to.
Okay.
The medical rehab clinics are going to have to be licensed.
Did you see that hidden camera one?
Yes, I did by Aviva.
Yeah,
that was.
Sorry, I'll close my mouth now.
I know, but this is the problem. And innocent people are committing fraud and they don't even know it because they're being told by a medical practitioner to sign here that you're going to be here on these dates when you actually don't have to appear, and they're charging the insurance companies for it, and that's millions of dollars going out the window to the insurance companies, right?
When I had a legit claim, like we got T-boned, this is years and years ago, by this stupid woman on her way to the dealership to get more touch-up paint since her last crash. She actually told me that by the side of the road. I couldn't believe it.
Too bad you couldn't record it.
But I went to a practitioner, a RMT who is long gone, out of business, don't know. Somebody sent me there, and I went. And the second time I go in, and she's a lovely lady, she gives me a form that says I need like hot tub this and this and this and this, and not fun hot tub, but you know. And I go, what's this? She goes, this is the plan, like a recovery plan or whatever. And it soon became very clear that I wasn't going to be getting any of this stuff, basically.
Right.
But you were accepting that.
In the moment, she's going, okay, this is what we should do, and if you sign here, and she's submitting it. And by the third time, I'm going, wait a minute, I'm not getting my butt in the hot tub. Like, I'm not seeing any of this stuff going on.
Exactly. But
So
but that's been running rampant for years and years and
this
years.
was a nice, normal person, like, and I'm thinking, okay, you're a little scrambling.
But it became standard practice.
Okay, that's
and it became so de rigueur in the industry, in the medical, in that rehab industry, that they were making millions of dollars. I mean, that Aviva camera caught a guy coming out of a Maserati, the owner of a clinic. He's driving a Maserati, and he just kind of turned his head because he
could
knew.
have made a far better choice.
He knew. Well, okay, I'm
I
not going to talk about it, but it's an inexpensive vehicle. Like they're making a lot of money, and now the government has to crack down on that. The licensing is going to help. That regulation is definitely going to help. The insurance companies also have to take a step back and start reviewing how they're handling their claims, what they're paying out. The problem the insurance companies have is that they're regulated to the point that they have to start settling a claim within 30 days, whether it's their claim or not. Accident benefits is set up in Ontario that somebody's going to get paid. That insured is going to get taken care of, regardless of whether that claim should be going to that particular insurance company or not. I'll give you an example. So a pedestrian crosses the road, gets hit, doesn't get like catastrophically injured, but is hurt, okay? The claim goes to the person who hit them, and it shouldn't. That pedestrian has their own car insurance. The claim should be going...
Maybe they do, maybe they don't.
No, I'm going to give you the example that they do have their own car insurance. That car insurance company, that pedestrian's car insurance company is supposed to pay the accident benefit claim, but it's been submitted to the car that hit them first. Behind the scenes, that insurance company that's having to pay that claim has to start paying out right away. They have to go to court to prove that they're not supposed to be paying that claim. Talk about convoluted.
Talk about confusing.
Talk about multifaceted issues in Ontario auto insurance.
A lot of people don't understand. We brought in the term no fault. Government brought in the term no fault. And
that's a long time ago now. Yeah.
And this is the part you were speaking to about how everyone pays their own claims.
Yes.
Like if two cars hit, both pay their own. A lot of people, I think no fault means I couldn't prove someone was fooling around on me like in a divorce.
Yeah.
No fault, there's still fault.
There is always going to be fault. There's a fault chart that you can access on Fisco's website.
But even using that terminology, when they started, 20 years ago now, no fault's been there, something like that?
Maybe
it's been
a
a while.
Longer, yeah.
People get this idea in their head.
And they still have that idea in their head, which baffles me because it's been around for 20 years. I know I explain it to every one of my clients. No fault does not mean it doesn't matter whose fault it is.
It's like an oxymoron.
Oh, exactly.
the
It was a misnomer.
Yeah.
The truth is, there are a lot of misnomers in insurance. You know, and I can list off quite a few just on your auto policy.
Also a lot of morons and oxys. No. I don't know.
I think
The Lemonade Car Show, brought to you by OMVIC, Ontario's motor vehicle sales regulator, returns after this short break. When we come back, we'll be taking your calls, 800-968-7836.